I always wish I joined in on that one monstrous moment trend that was going around the Godzilla community a while back, but my video making and script writing skills were
Rodan is more or less Godzilla and Ghidorah's bitch throughout most of the film.
limited. But this one ultra exciting episode trend, courtesy of RyanZetton, seemed like a good opportunity to partake in a community driven project. Just one problem: I'm a really casual Ultraman fan. I'm pretty terrible at watching TV shows in general compared to film. It took me about 2.5 months to get through Breaking Bad. And my journey through the Kamen Rider franchise has been pretty slow as well. Ultraman's one of those things that I just appreciated for the really cool and outlandish monster designs, and never really watched many of the series because of how long they are and how slow I am. I did watch one though, about 7 years ago. To say I'm a casual fan would be a gross understatement. I have started watching Towards the Future since then to get back into my ultra groove, but too bad it's kinda bad. Despite all that, there was an episode from the one series I watched that I do recall being pretty interesting. That episode was Miracle of the Third Planet from Ultraman Max. Like I said before, it was a while ago that I watched this show, but I can sort of remember some of the better episodes, like the one with Zetton, the Bolton two-parter, and the Meta Why Monsters Appear episode. Basically most of the ones that brought back a monster. Not to say the new monsters weren't cool, they had Natsu and Mario in this series after all. But there were some stinkers. Like I remember hating the Space Cats one, or the one with this thing. Basically the ones which just went full stupid. I know it's a kid show, but as a stupid kid when I was watching this, I just wanted to see some cool monster shenanigans. The one that stuck out to me, however, was Miracle of the Third Planet. I couldn't remember if it was one of those Pokemon the First Movie type things where it had a non-violence message and then they went straight back to violence afterwards, undermining the episode's entire message, or if it was actually a good episode with a well-handled message. On a rewatch, I have to say, this episode is pretty damn great. Not perfect, but great. The plot goes that the Science Patrol team equivalent from this series, Dash, are investigating an extraterrestrial blob that has appeared. Their immediate reaction is to firebomb the blob. Once the blob shell is removed, it starts spitting fire back at the Dash members. Not that kind of fire. This isn't the Power Rangers pumpkin.
It's not even morning, I got breakfast on my mind. I need a number 2, a number 4, 2 number.
They then shoot it with whatever they have, but whatever they throw at it seems to come right back. Eventually, the thing gains sentience in the form of a monster called If. I really like the jagged, messy look of this kaiju. There's something about him that feels incomplete, which makes sense for a monster that upgrades the more things that it's attacked by. Then Ultraman Max shows up to get rid of the threat once and for all. Using a specimen ray, the monster is blown to 1,000,000 pieces. The day is saved, and Ultraman flies away to his home planet.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
Except for the fact that If reforms stronger than ever with one of Max's strongest attacks to boot. This design is a little too similar to a lot of Heisei Ultraman designs, a bit over-designed and too many spikes. It's still pretty cool with its Gigan-like hook. Max is forced to retreat as the monster destroys the recital hall they were trying to protect. Flashback to the beginning of the episode, we are introduced to a blind orphan called Akko, who is going to play the piccolo at that recital hall. Once the monster reaches the city, Dash can only watch as they are defenseless to If's rampage. We watch as a few members try to evacuate buildings, including that of Akko's building. Akko refuses to leave because nothing can go right for her. She then escapes through the window with her piccolo to find If sleeping. She plays the piccolo for him, which calms the monster and helps it replicate the power of music to become a full symphony to accompany the girl's piccolo. He then flies to his home planet to never be seen again. No, I'm serious this time, that's how the episode actually ends. With Dash and Max being wrapped up in this idea that violence is the only way to stop the monster, it makes sense that an outside force has to come up with something like that. It's a pretty good way of teaching a message and showing the flaws of the main characters in a genre which never seems to do it all that well. It sort of reminds me of the resolution in Shin Godzilla, but a little heavier with violence bad message. The scene is also done pretty well. I love when the Dash team member, that I can't remember the name of, has the gun to the monster's head, only to turn around to see Max just sort of chilling there, telling her to be quiet. It's funny, yet a little heartwarming. Plus the destruction scenes are actually shot pretty competently and make If seem threatening. It's almost like a director with history in film made this episode. Someone like Takashi Miike, director of Audition. No, I'm not kidding, he also directed the episode that came afterwards with the stupid space cats. He will put his name on anything, won't he? Shusuke Kaneko also directed some episodes. God damn, I got some more rewatching to do. Anyway, the reason I think that this episode works so well is because they mixed up the formula. Most episodes will have Ultraman showing up towards the end to kick the monster's ass, or if it's a two-parter, he'll lose the first one but then beat the monster in the second time round. This time, Ultraman shows up at the beginning and loses. From then on, he and Dash are rendered obsolete against the monster, and it looks like he's seemingly won. I don't think I've ever seen this level of pure defeat in a tokusatsu before, even in the more mature Kamen Rider series. If has won, and it's their fault. All the characters feel a level of guilt and remorse for their actions, and the resolution comes off as sweet and deserved. Impressive. Overall, it's a pretty outstanding episode that, after a rewatch, makes me want to watch a little bit more Ultraman in the future. That is, if I can get through any more of Towards the Future. It just gets worse. So, bye. Watch the other One Ultra Exciting episode videos if you can. Help out the community, boys.